I think
Agreed.
if we're being very honest, it looks very, very likely that our governor is going to be reelected. And if that is the case, then you can't drag the Democratic nominee across the finish line by just pumping all of your support behind him. The only chance you would have of potentially changing that fate is focusing on races like yours. If people are ultimately going to vote for you,
they'll vote up ticket.
They'll very likely vote for Charlie for governor.
Right.
That's how you can change the possibility of what is considered likely to happen.
Whereas if you vote for Charlie, a lot of people just vote for that and then they don't continue to vote down ballot.
Think about how many people, that is what's so amazing to me.
Yeah.
How many people don't even vote down ballot? They'll have a ballot. And I understand, you've often said this, the only seat that you probably shouldn't vote for if you really don't know is for judges.
Well, I don't vote for anything that if I don't know, but I usually research, and I also do vote by mail so that I have plenty of time. But no, I don't think people should vote for judges. I don't think the judiciary should be an elected branch. That's I have
appointed.
I do. I do. I think you have two elected branches. I think that the judiciary should be appointed. I do.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's where the whole convolution of the entire judicial system really becomes a major talking point. And so, Gabriel, from your perspective, if you had to name your top 3 issues, state issues that you're really focused on, I would imagine the environment is one of the 3. But what would you say are the top 3 that you would be focused on should you be fortunate enough to win? I mean, again, it's a +3 seat. It is still Dade, so it's probably, if we're being honest, it's probably a toss-up. So you're going to need to get the votes out for sure. But if you are fortunate enough to get to Tallahassee and working with our friend Anna Escamani and other people, what would be something that, what would be the top 3 that you would be focused on?
Well, definitely the first one would be the climate crisis. It's no secret that South Florida is at an elevated risk for the effects of climate change, and not only with more flooding and higher temperatures, but also longer hurricane seasons and longer, more powerful tropical cyclone activities could be happening down here in the South Florida area. That's something that we deal with every single summer, and it's only going to get worse as the climate crisis goes on. So we need to have people in Tallahassee, especially in this state, that really understand the extent of the crises and is willing to act boldly and in a very visionary way to help avert that crisis. Second off, we are having a major affordable housing crisis down here in the southern end of Florida. I know it's in the state overall, but especially here in South Florida, it's very, very bad. So that's something that I'd be very excited to tackle. And then the third one, obviously, these social issues. Our state is descending into fascism, and we really have to stop that any way that we can. All of our fundamental human rights have been attacked in some way or another in the previous legislative session, and the state legislature and the governor have shown no signs of stopping this relentless attack. Like voting rights and the right to peaceably assemble, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, all of them have been in some way, shape, or form curtailed, and we need to make sure that that's stopped or reversed if possible.
Yeah.
No question. Anytime I hear a Democrat bring up any type of social justice issue in the state of Florida, Randy Fine is the first person that comes to mind. He's just so bad. He really is kind of emblematic in many ways of the issues with the GOP in the state. And it is, it's a very unique state in a lot of ways, but it's a state that I still think has, great potential. And if anybody would like to get involved with your campaign, Lord knows we'll be potentially seeing you out there on the trail. The election season pretty much is in full swing at this point. And of course, Election Day is 6 weeks away, I guess. Yeah, about 6 weeks. So, or 7 weeks, right? Close enough. But if anybody would like to get involved, it's Gabriel4Florida.com. So we're going to put that up there for you right now. And what do you need?
Money. He needs money.
Yeah.
Yes, I do need funding. We are actually fortunate enough to be a completely grassroots funded campaign, and we have no corporate money. As of yet, we have no PAC money, and we're funded entirely by contributors that are in the community. We have community support in a way that the Republican Party does not have. Their entire funding is coming from $50,000 that the party put into their race, as well as dark money and corporate entities that have been pumping the maximum amount of contributions into their race. Not a single individual contribution from what I've seen since the primary has been pumped into that race. And we are fully people powered and people funded. So funding and volunteers.
We can contribute.
All right. Well, you're going to get a donation from Generational Change. So, we're
Thank
going to
you.
everything we can to help. And guys, if you can go to GabrielForFlorida.com, remember, there are all kinds of contributions you can make, not just financial, in-kind contributions, phone banking, text banking.
And sharing
on social media. Canvassing's definitely the biggest one, especially as we hit. The one thing that's different regarding the primary season in Florida is that the weather in July and August can be quite unbearable. The good news is that at the end of September, early October, the weather starts to become fairly tolerable. So if you are thinking about getting out and lending a hand, even in Miami, this would definitely be one of those races that is very important, regardless of what happens in the gubernatorial race. You have to start putting more chess pieces on the board that are not going to just do rubber stamp voting on corporate policy up in Tallahassee. This is something that will make a huge difference. And let's be honest, you can't just have Maxwell Frost win a race. You need a whole bunch of other people within this new generation to be able to recognize the fragility of the circumstances we're living in right now. I think you absolutely get that, Gabriel. We are obviously happy to support you in your efforts. And once again, go to GabrielForFlorida.com, lend a hand, contribute, volunteer, do all those wonderful things that we have done before and will continue.
I also highly strongly recommend camel packs for canvassing. That's how I got through a lot, was camel pack. And I would actually put ice pack in the pack with the water.
I can never figure out how that works.
I know, whatever. I kept it on my back the whole time, but I'm, twice your age. So
that's a smart idea. Okay.
And then you have hands free. You don't have to be holding your water bottle or anything like that. I was it was the best thing I ever did.
Let us know about any big canvassing day that you may have. Maybe we can supply the pizza or something like that. It's always, if you want to have one of those big canvassing days, we always recommend, if you feed the volunteers, they will show up. That is, That is
feed
definitely
them.
If your mother has any or your father has any great food recipes and they want to make something, and you bring sort of like that family get together before you go out and canvass in the neighborhood for a few hours. Hey, those types of things really go a long way.
Basically, Peter's saying if you feed him, he'll come canvass for you.
I didn't say that, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't.
If your parents or your mother cooks really good food and you're offering whatever that is, he'll come canvass.
Well, I'm just saying, fish tacos, all that type of stuff. It's always it's
nobody is making you fish tacos.
Oh, you never know. You got to hold out hope, but beggars can't be choosers.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.